last year, we had the privilege of having one of the funniest people on the planet, not just the funniest Christian comedian, but one of the funniest comedians on the planet, Tim Hawkins, with us. And when Tim was here, he had so much fun. And once he got around us, he said, man, I'd love to come back and actually shoot some footage for my next upcoming DVD. And he and his team graciously agreed to come. And that's what we're doing tonight. We've been telling you to get tickets, even though he's at Convo, because you're going to get like a little small sample today of the big show tonight. So there are a few tickets left. If you want to be a part of that, it's going to be a historic thing. You do not want to miss it. But it is so awesome to be able to have him back. He's brought with him his friend Bob Smiley. Many of you are big fans of Bob, one of the greatest comedians in the world right now. Bob and I have known each other for about 12 years. And I got to tell you, what I love about this man is he always wants to do ministry. Even though he comes to great events and he's always doing comedy, he cares about people. I've seen him behind stages just minister to people. He's always asking about ways to serve people outside of just his own giftings. Just a real solid individual, godly man who's just going to be a real example for us of how you can do great comedy without ever having to be perverse or, having to use a lot of vulgarity. These are just great guys. Come on, put your hands together for the great, the one, the only, Bob Smiley, everybody.
What is up, Liberty? Man, thank you guys so much. It is an honor to be here. I was actually here in August. I came here to have a tropical smoothie, and I just got out of the hospital. It's great to see Pastor David. I've known him forever. I love anybody that's travel size. I am not going to be invited back. I know a lot of you don't know me. I live in northern Mexico, a place called Houston, Texas. And I do. I've been traveling around doing stand-up comedy for 19 years. I've got 3 boys because I'm stupid. That sounds bad. I love my kids. I love Coulter and the other 2. It'll come to me, but I do. And we were talking, David and I were talking backstage about how becoming a father changes your life. I remember that first moment where my wife went into labor at 5:30 in the morning, and I jumped up and I ran. I had one job to do. I was supposed to call the hospital and tell them we were coming, but they asked a weird question. I was like, we're bringing Wendy Smiley. She's going to have a baby. She's going to have a baby. And they were like, calm down. Is this her first baby? And I was like, no, this is her husband. So I know, that's the other worst thing about being a dad is like there's so many jobs I'm not going to be good at. Like one of the jobs of a dad is the protector of the family. So I'm the protector. First of all, I got the wrong body, right? I'm the only one in this gym that can use chapstick as deodorant. And this is my real voice, so anybody scared? Think about that. If you were a burglar breaking in downstairs and I was at the top of the stairs, would this scare you? Like, you better not be down there. What is that? I'm the only guy that can stand at the top of the stairs and go, you better get out or I'll call my husband. Like, what? So we got to the hospital and I knew our lives were about to change, and I didn't know a lot about kids. In fact, the doctor actually got mad at me because 2 weeks before we had a baby, the doctor was like, now I'm going to give you some advice. If the baby's crying, it's because of 3 things. 1, he's hungry. 2, he's tired. Or 3, he has a dirty diaper. And I'm a comedian. I was like, shouldn't dirty diaper be number 2? He didn't even laugh. He just gave my wife a pamphlet on single parenting. And so when we got to the hospital, I just was like a nervous wreck. And I thought, the doctor would come in and explain stuff to us because he knew we were first-time parents. But he didn't. He just burst into the room and started shouting out doctor terms. He was like, okay, I think we're ready. She's 80% of face. She's 7 centimeters dilated. Her barometer pressure is 80/60. Expect a cool front to come in later this afternoon. Followed by high gust of wind, brought on by her mother. And you can laugh at that. She's not here. So I know she's not here. She lives in Galveston, Texas. That's got to be at least like 14 hours by broom. So, what? Maybe it's faster. And maybe it is. I don't even know where I am. I'm not good at geometry. Anyway, I didn't even know what kids look like when they're born. I thought they were pink and cuddly like you see on TV, and they're goopy, man. Why wouldn't you tell me that? I'm on the video going, okay, here it comes. It's a grub worm. Oh my goodness. I was expecting pink and cuddly. My first son looked like a Veggie Tail dipped in motor oil. Just And they were over there cleaning the baby off, and I was over there getting all our bags and stuff ready, and all of a sudden, I felt a tap on my shoulder, and they go, Mr. Smiley, here's your son. And I'd never held a baby before in my entire life, you know? And you guys have probably figured out why. Not a lot of women have been like, here, hold my kid. And so I put my arms out, and guys, this is one of the greatest moments of my life. They put my son in my arms, and I looked down at him, and he just reached up, and he took his newborn hand, and he just caressed my face like that. I know, I felt like that. I didn't do that because I'm not a sissy. I'm totally kidding. I love that moment because here's the deal. I was a Christian growing up. I grew up in a very small town with 281 people in it. We didn't have a lot. We had a little school and we had a little, I guess it was a store. It was called a drive-through tobacco barn. I don't know what happened there. I guess rednecks just pull up. We're like, yeah, fill her up, please. Like, I wasn't good at school. That's why it's weird being back. I went to a Christian college because I knew it would be easy to pick up girls. And no, because you can use Christian pickup lines like, excuse me, I believe your rib belongs to me. So, don't write that down. So anyway, I grew up in this small town, and all I wanted to do was I wanted to be a good father, and I wanted to be a good ambassador for Christ. And so when we had the baby, and the other thing is, I had good Christian parents. If you'll come tonight, I'm going to talk a lot about how I grew up, and I had, my grandmother taught me to read the Bible. In fact, she was like, read the Bible when you're young. It makes me mad that, young kids hardly ever read the Bible, and elderly people are reading it like crazy because, it's like they're trying to cram for a final. And right? And the Bible, it's not boring. If we could get that message out, it's not boring. Even flying in, I was flying in and I was reading about doubting Thomas, and I was like, how fascinating. He doubted one time, and everybody calls him doubt. I mean, one time on a date, I laughed and a snot bubble came out. I don't want to be known as Snot Bubble Bob the rest of my life, right? So that's what I did. I want my kids to read the Bible, and I will say this. I don't know if we have a lot of adults here, but if you're an adult and you have kids, find out what your kids are reading in the Bible before you do certain activities. I took my oldest son, Coulter, on a camping hiking trip, not realizing he had just gotten to the part where Abraham had taken his son, Isaac. Okay, if you're not laughing, you're not cramming for your final. I got out of the tent that morning. I was like, good morning, Coulter. You want to go on a hike? And he was like, what? No. I want to go home. And I was like, what's up with you? And he showed me, and I was like, that's hilarious. Now grab that firewood and that knife and let's go. So getting the Word of God into your life, and you're obviously doing it. You're at one of the greatest universities in the world, and you're getting that, every single day. And, in fact, I love being a dad so much. I wish Joseph, Jesus' dad, would have written a chapter. Like, how fascinating. First of all, I want to know if Jesus, used his powers when he was little. If his dad was like, I need you to water the plants. And he was like, oh, it is finished. Or did his dad realize he had power, so he's ever like, hey, son, can you put your finger in that glass of water? Were you still okay? But no, and because I know, Jesus' dad, Jesus was sinless, but his dad had to have gotten on to him. Did he ever be like, look, stop spitting in everyone's eyes? And leave that chicken alone. That is our dinner. It needs to stay dead. But I'm just saying, it would have been fascinating to read about that. Because Joseph had to struggle with being humble. I don't know. If I was Jesus' dad, I would have bragged all that. I would have put a bumper sticker on the back of my donkey. My son saved your honor, student. So So I did. I grew up in a very Christian home. And it's weird because my dad and I have the same sense of humor, but we don't look alike. My dad weighs 280 pounds. He's 5'7". And he's always been big. I asked my grandmother, I was like, was he ever skinny like me when he was young? And she was like, no. He was born on a Thursday and a Friday. So, and I'm not making fun of him because he loves being big. He's always like, Bob, come stand next to me so we look like the number 10. I'm like, okay. But I grew up with a very joyful, loving Christian family. Although my dad would pull some pranks on me that I thought were mean. Like my dad actually every night had me take communion, and I thought it was because I was a strong Christian kid. And finally my brother was like, dude, he's just giving you NyQuil. So I grew up that way, and I want to raise my kids that way. I want to raise my kids to be ambassadors, to look for different opportunities, to jump into it. And that's my challenge to you this morning. And I'll actually close with this last quick story, because I love moments. Because I do, you're right, David, I love doing comedy, but I more importantly love to talk about how amazing Jesus Christ is in my life and in the life of my kids. And I had this great glimpse of how God must look at us every single day. And it happened about a year ago. My oldest son came to me and he was like, Dad, I kind of have a dream I want to share with you. And I was like, man, I'm your dad. I'm going to make it happen. We're not going to let anybody stop you. You're going to go for your dream. He goes, I want to play in the band. And I was like, that's awesome. That's a great dream. We're going to make that happen. And he goes, I want to play the trombone. And I was like, hang on, we're going to totally reevaluate. Nothing against the trombone, but you ever heard a junior high kid play the trombone, or what I now call Satan's harp? I wanted him to learn the guitar because I'm going to be honest, you see adults using the guitar later in life, still playing, right? You rarely see, anybody ever been out camping, sitting around a campfire, just so peaceful. Hey, Ricky, did you bring your trombone? Like, what? Like, I mean, you see people play the guitar. I stayed at Tim Hawkins' house one time. He played his guitar until his kid fell asleep. I was like, that's so beautiful. How messed up is my grandson gonna be, though, if my son's standing over the crib going, hey. But he wanted a trombone, so I bought him one, which, by the way, is $1,200. Did not know that, $1,200. That's why people cuss. So I bought him this trombone, and he went to school, and he learned let's call it a song. No, you don't understand. If that was a song, that song should have been called, like, I don't know, like, Who Punched the Moose in the Bladder? Because even our dog was like, dude, you put me outside when I make noise like that. So he was sitting there and he was playing this song, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it was not good. It was not good. I didn't even recognize it. I mean, later he told me it was the theme music to Jaws, and I was like, well, that was scarier than the movie. But I didn't even say that, because here's where I got a glimpse of how God must look at us every single day. My son was sitting there playing a song, and it was not good. And I've never loved a song more, because my son was sitting there playing a song for me. And that's where I got a glimpse of how God must look at us. You know, I obviously don't know you guys. I would love to get to know you. I don't know if everybody has to leave afterwards. I'm on social media. Also, that's kind of a shameless plug, but when we were backstage, I got an email from one of my family members going, ha ha, you're supposed to be famous, and I got more followers than you. And I was like, big deal, Grandma. So, but I don't know you guys, but here's the deal. Maybe you came in today. Maybe you came in this morning, and you haven't been playing the song the way that God created you to play it. Maybe you've been making some mistakes in your life. Or maybe people have made mistakes around you that have drastically affected your life. Here's the best news I can give you this morning. It doesn't matter. Because your perfect Father who created you and has a path and a plan for you is never gonna turn his back on you. He's never gonna stop loving you. It's true unconditional love. And that's where our joy comes from. That's where you're gonna see it tonight on the stage. And you know, it was a great moment because my son was playing this song and I stopped. And I know you don't know me, but here's the deal. I don't cry. And it's not a macho thing at all. I don't know why I don't cry. I've cried once as an adult, and it was over the dumbest reason. It was over a movie. Yeah. Toy Story 3. And did you cry at that? Okay. I don't know if you can meet me afterward. I would love to know what part everybody cried at, because everybody cries at so many different parts of the movie. And, I don't cry, so it just hit me. The part that made me cry, sorry, I'm thinking of it again. So dumb. The part that made me cry, it was when the lady said, "Sir, that'll be $72 for 5 tickets to go in and see the movie." And why is it so expensive, huh? Anybody else make popcorn at home and then sneak it in, huh? Yes. And then sell it to other people? But there was that great moment where my son just stopped for a second and he looked at me and he goes, "What's up?" Because he could tell something was going on. And I was like, "Man, do you realize how much God loves us?" And he does. He's a good kid. He gets it. And he goes, "Yeah, you know what? God's amazing, but you're an awesome dad." And my heart just melted. And then he looked at me and he goes, "In fact, guess what?" And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "We learned 2 songs. You want me to play the other one?" And I was like, "Do I want you to play it?" No. I mean, I do, but it is late. It is time for you to take your communion. So really, I came here this morning just to kind of warm you guys up and get you ready for, I think, one of the greatest comics in the world. But more importantly, I wanted to come here and just remind you guys that God has given you a path. He has given you a ministry, and you got to start looking for those opportunities that He's going to open it up. It can start with the blood drive. It can start with anything, just by praying for somebody. But God has a purpose and a plan for you, and I want you guys just to be looking for that, because whenever He shows up, He does great things. And speaking of great things, He invented this next guy who I think is just phenomenal. He's one of my best friends. You guys give it up for the legendary Tim Hawkins. Thank you.
It's been a good while since I've seen you, friend. So we got together like old times. But it didn't take long to see something was wrong. Brother, have you lost your mind? Well, we used to be friends, now that's gotta end. It's nothing that you did or said. You got something scary, a little round hairy doorknob on the back of your head. You got a man bun, drop the knot, son, it don't look right on a man. You got a man bun, like a pin cushion held together with a rubber band. You ain't a ballerina, you ain't a samurai, and you don't work at the library. Nip it in the bud stud, or you ain't hanging out with me. Oh, Liberty University! Cross the line, brother. A ponytail is fine, but not a furry ball of twine. You got a man, but come on, drop the knot, son. It don't look right on the man. Sounds good. You got a man, but like a pin cushion held together with a rubber band. You ain't a ballerina, you ain't a samurai, and you don't work at the library. Nip it in the bud stud, or you ain't hanging out with me. Nip it in the bud, or you ain't hanging out with me. a used tractor on Craigslist. There was no picture, but I couldn't resist. Seemed like a good deal, now I regret it. If you wanna know why, go take a look at it. I got stuck with the pretty pink tractor. Go take a peek, it's out in the pasture. People make mud, but it don't matter. It drives real loud so you can't hear the laughter. Plays a sweet song, turn in a corner. Flowery canopy when it gets warmer. When you think about it, just get madder. I got stuck with the pretty pink tractor. Just when thought it couldn't get no worse, my daddy came by Sunday after church. He said, son, don't you listen to the big mouth church. And if people make fun, hit them with your purse and take them for a ride on your pretty pink tractor. Don't take a picture, wanna show my pastor. Sure, all the family, I wanna take dinner. So don't show them your pretty pink tractor. Teletubby cover on the seat. It's like a redneck Sesame Street. Yeah. Gotta watch out when you buy online. Don't turn out good all the time. Why y'all gotta make fun that way? It plows it up, it bears a hay. Give me a minute while I put this dip in. Hit with a purse that you be tripping. Snapshot, cheap shot, take a look. Post it up all on your Facebook. Everybody hating on my new rig. Cows and chicken, dog and pig. Jump in my tractor, let it flow. Got you tripping on a double rainbow. Fire it up, I hear y'all laughing. Making it rain, I'm a redneck rapping. Pepto, Bismol, Flash, and Pink. I know y'all really wanna be me. I did it! Yay! Good job. She was a farmer. Wouldn't think about it, but just get madder. I got stuck with a pretty pink tractor. Oh yeah. Need to go to town. Trade it in for a green or brown. Who wants my pretty pink tractor? Thanks, Convo. We didn't come to mess around tonight, y'all. We came to rock the flock. That's what we came to do. We came to jam for the lamb. That's what we came to do. Came to give y'all the flavor of the Savior. That's what we came to do. That was a Christian twerk right there, a little Christian twerk. That's not a sin. That's not a sin. You go up farther than that, that's a sin. Right there in the pocket. That's a Christian sanctioned twerk right there. David Nasser cannot do that right there because he has no butt. You ever notice that?
Hey everybody, a fantastic convo. Hey. Yeah, it just kind of...
Oh, you sweet little fake Iranian man. That is awesome. You sweet little... Tropical smoothie right over there. That's hilarious. Tropical smoothie. But first off, I want to recognize we do have, this is simulcast right now. There are just thousands of people watching this on the internet right now. Just want to say hi to you guys. And and that's how I found Jesus. And I just wanted to share that. I knew it was a powerful testimony to everyone here. It's good to be here. What is this place? Looks like Joel Osteen's bathroom, for crying out loud. This is nice. This is nice. It's kind of creepy, but it's really nice.
I don't know, man. We're all losing our minds. That's what comedy is, folks. You just live your life, make notes, and tell strangers. That's all you do. There's nothing special about it. I'm serious. You could totally do what I do. The only difference between me and you is I got a microphone and talent. That's the only two things. The only two things that separate me and you riffraff. That's it. So dream big, okay? I don't know. Same things make us crazy. Bumper sticker people. Driving around Lynchburg, a lot of bumper sticker people. We just don't care. Take them off the car. We don't need to be reading going 75 miles an hour, okay? We're already texting and eating cereal. Can't be doing 3 things at one time. I just don't care. I don't care that you're a tolerant, gun control, Wiccan princess who loves her poodle and won't be here when the rapture happens. Take the bumper stickers off the car. Unless, of course, it's a Bernie Sanders sticker. Leave that on. Because you get the feeling that it's holding the car together. Bernie people ain't driving the nice cars, that's all I'm saying. A lot of Christians have the Jesus fish on the back of the car. Jesus fish, Saw a car the other day with the Darwin fish on the back. I was like, uh-oh. Let's get ready to rumble. I saw this on a car one time. It was a Jesus fish devouring a Darwin fish. Yeah, there's some good, solid biblical teaching for you. If somebody disagrees with you, eat them! Yeah. What would Jesus do? Some of y'all taking this way too seriously right now. That's amazing, man. It's just good to be here. Good to be. I think comedy's everywhere. One of the first jokes I ever wrote, I was driving through Oklahoma. Okay, shut up. I mean that in a Christian way. Shut your pie hole. Close it up. Now, I was driving through Durant, Oklahoma. I saw this sign. It was a billboard that said, Oklahoma Shakespeare Festival. You freaks need a punchline for that one? Oklahoma Shakespeare Festival, that's right, because I know when I want to see some good Shakespeare, I look no further than Durant, Oklahoma. Wouldn't you love to see some Shakespeare done in Oklahoma, like, Romeo, Romeo! Where y'all at? Live your life and make notes. Stupid things that people say, that cracks me up. You ever been with a tall friend and somebody walks by, ask your tall friend, do you play basketball? You must play basketball, yeah, you probably play basketball. We don't do that with little people, like, oh, he must work for Willy Wonka. That's probably what he does. I get a lot of questions. People ask me about my kids. Tim, do your kids think you're funny? Do your kids, do they think you're funny? I don't care. I'm not here to be cool for my kids. When you ever become a parent, don't try to be cool for your kids. They'll never think you're cool. It's never gonna happen. My kids don't think I'm cool at all. I'm totally good with that. They just rub it in. Like my son's 16 now. He's lifting weights. He's ripped. He's shredded muscles. He'll walk in the kitchen without a shirt on. That's the sound it makes when he rakes his hand. Takes a whole gallon of milk. He goes, hey, Dad, I got 8% body fat. What do you got? Money? I don't know. Oh, there's some right there. Where'd that come from? Oh, you got no gas in the car? Why don't you run to the gym? Maybe you drop down to 7%. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna drive up the stove, get some Krispy Kreme, boy!
I'm gonna get a dozen Krispy Kreme.
You got a 6-pack, I got a 12-pack. Ah! Not here to be cool for my kids. You know how cool my kids think I am? You know what they call me at home? My nickname? Dr. No. Dr. No. You know why? Because I give them a lot of no. A lot of no. A lot of kids get too much yes. I give them no. I call it the gift of no. More parents should do that. Daddy, can I have that? No. Can I have the keys to the car? Let's see here. No. Can I go over there? Nope. Can I spend the night over there? This old man, he said no. Get creative. Eeny, meeny, miny, no. No, you're just somebody that I used to. No.
There's so many ways to say no. No.
People ask me if I was the class clown in school. I was not the class clown, I was the class comedian. There is a difference. Class clown's the guy who runs naked across the football field at halftime. I was the class comedian. I convinced him it would be a good idea. Yeah, class clown, they're walking off in handcuffs. You said it would be funny. It was. You better turn yourself in. No. No. Hear a lot of dumb things that people say. We overuse words in this country, don't we? Superlative words, we gotta stop using so much. Like, that's the best. Oh, that's the best. No, it's not. That's amazing. Mm-mm. That's unbelievable. We overuse that word, unbelievable, don't we? I was eating some deer sausage with my buddy. He's like, man, this deer sausage is unbelievable. No, it's not. Just say it, it's just a good piece of deer sausage, man. It's not unbelievable. Now, if a bald eagle wearing a tuxedo flew down and dropped some deer sausage in your mouth, yeah, that's unbelievable right there. I'll give you that. That is unbelievable. Because that's a bald eagle wearing a tux, dropping sausage in your mouth. You don't see something like that every day. Unless you're a Catholic, they see stuff like that all the time, but not a normal person. Everybody, ah! That's awesome, man. That's unbelievable right there. We overuse this phrase the most, that's the worst. You ever heard people say that? That's the worst. That's the worst. Really? That's the worst. That is the worst. My wife and I dropped our daughter off at the mall not too long ago. She was there to meet her friends, and her friends weren't there yet. My daughter was distraught. She's like, oh,
My friends. My friends.
that's not how she talks, but it's really funny.
My friend. My friends aren't here. My friends aren't here yet. Now I can't go shopping. I have to wait for them until they get here, until I can go shopping.
And my wife was like, I know, honey, that's the worst. Really? That's the worst? Being stuck in the mountains or being lost, you know, out at sea with sharks circling around you. You're not in more of a pickle there? That's the worst. Can you imagine like those Chilean miners? Remember those Chilean miners a few years ago? Got stuck in that mine for like 30 days. Do you think they're down that mine going, oh no. This is no good right here, man. We've been down in this mine for a long time, you know. We got no food to eat, we got no water to drink. There's not a lot of air left to breathe. We may not live to see another day, my friend. This is the worst. The only thing that I can think of right now let me finish, please. The only thing, this is bad right now, the only thing that I can think of right now that could possibly be worse than this is, you know, sometimes when you're at the mall and your friends aren't there to meet you yet, and you want to go shopping, but you can't, so you gotta wait around on the curb for like 10 minutes or something. I tell you what, this is bad, my friend, but that is the worst right there, my friend. I tell you, that is the worst. Thank you. Well, another hand for Bob Smiley, awesome, one of my best friends in the world. David Nasser, thanks Liberty for letting us come here. just want to finish with a song. We lost someone in the pop world recently. Prince passed away. Okay. Feeling some judgment right now. I listened to Prince in the 80s and 90s. Maybe I shouldn't have. I don't think that really matters.
You guys are judging me right now.
But say what you want about Prince. He was an amazing musician, amazing talent. And did you guys know that Prince started writing songs at a very early age? Did you know that? So right now, before I go, I want to play you this song. Okay, we have sign language people, that's awesome. This guy's amazing. No, this is me talking right now. This guy is amazing. He is hot. I mean, I thought David had a nice butt. This guy is rocking it. He's rocking and rolling it at the LU. I just farted. What's the sign for that? No, I'm asking you. Sign guy, look at me! Please!
What's the sign for fart?
What is it? This. That's the same sign for trombone. But folks, Prince is a very talented guy, and I'm right now going to perform for you. That's right, I'm going to perform for you the very first song that little Prince ever wrote.
I never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain. But I'm only 2 years old and I'm not ready. Only 2 years old and I'm not ready to be potty trained. Potty trained, potty trained. Potty train, potty train. Potty train, potty train. Mommy, I know you're tired of changing me. Hope this don't mean we can't be friends. Yeah. I see a toilet over there, mama, but I can't seem to make up my mind. I think you better close it. Such a shame you have to clean my rear. Sing! Potty train. Potty train. Potty. Get those hands up, people. Come on. Let me see your hands in the air, babies. Even if you're a Baptist, get them in the air, people. Thanks. Have a great day. Thanks for having us. See you, Convocation. Thank you.